Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Hello World. It is your girl Joy, me, tuning in live every single evening. And tonight is no different. And I am here to say thank you guys for joining me another day and welcome. I hope you all had a beautiful day. My day was good, but I will say, however, my sinuses have been rocking my world. As of today, they were rocking my world. So, needless to say, I'm just all the way done. So, thank you guys for joining me tonight. Thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. Hey, NASCAR man, how are you? Welcome to Hello World. Tonight, I'm just going to be chatting about anything. So, if you want to throw a topic in, then you're more than welcome to do so. How was your day? I was just going through how my day, I just had the worst sinus attack. It's just like on this side, just bad. Um, so when I got back to the apartment, I just said, you know what, let me take my black seed oil. So I took a tablespoon of black seed oil and immediately the pain subsided. And now I am drinking. Hey, Gina, how are you? Welcome to Hello World. Now I'm drinking my alkaline water, which is basically a lime that has been sitting in my gallon of water. Um, I really should be drinking a gallon of water a day, but at least I'm drinking, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Is it raining by you? It's been raining all day over here. So the alkaline water has been helping to remove the mucus in my body and hopefully lucky you, hopefully the actual inflammation will go away. Cold, yeah, it's freezing here. I broke out my winter coat again. I have my winter coat on, I have my scarf on. I actually put the heat on last night and I have it on now because it is absolutely cold. My feet are cold. So, if your feet are cold, then that means it's really cold. Um, and I'm just going to put my little blanket over my legs like an old lady because it is cold and I don't like being cold. Your sunburn worked in a tank top. Oh, nice. That is lovely. Um, if you guys ever want to get to know what Be the Difference and who I am, a little bit about me, you can just look in the description below and there's links to a lot of different things. Not me. I hate the cold. Like this right now, I feel like calling it another season, just cold. Yep. Not winter, spring, summer, fall, no, just cold. Because I think I think the weather is digressing and saying, you know what, I'm in control now. I'm gonna just be split personality on all of you guys. And I already predicted that summer won't start until end of June, July, like actual warm weather. I don't know. I guess because I was born here. I don't think I could live too far away from New York City. Even though I don't go into the city a lot, I just don't think I could live that far away from it. I like the street lights. I like to hear cars going. I like the corner store or a corner store. I like to be like 5 minutes away from pretty much everything. Um, so I guess I just have to grin and bear this freezing frosty weather. No, I would not. I do not. I do not enjoy hearing crickets, and that's it. And then my next door neighbor being like 50 miles away or even 10 miles away. That's too far. I need to be able to like look outside my window and see people walking around. I don't know. That's just me. And then I like to close my blinds and be like, okay, I don't have to see anybody anymore. That's just me. So, you know what? I do have my handy little book. This is a book that I wrote. It's a book of quotes. And that's what it says. For a year, I had been on Instagram just posting different quotes. They are all original as well. So I'm just going to flip through and see what opens up today. Because last night we were talking about struggles. And let me tell you, the page that opened up to the struggles, it matched everything that we were talking about. Atlanta's crazy. No, I think Atlanta is dope. Except everything seems to close early. So here we go and see what it says. Uh-oh. This one says, I'll read both of them. Used to want all the treasures in the world. Now all that's wanted is balance. The weather can balance itself out for all I can say. Then the next one, it says, your ego is only crushed when your expectations supersede the capacity of another human's capabilities. Mm. Your ego is only crushed when your expectations supersede the capacity of another human's capabilities. So pretty much that's saying, you know how sometimes you expect so much from a person and hey Anita, you expect so much from welcome from a person and um then they let you down. Well, maybe you had built up so much expectations that this person was going to be like amazing and do everything that you thought that they could do in your head. And it turns out that they're just human and they never will ever meet the expectations that you thought. So that's what that one means. And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, ooh, when I thought of it, I was like, ooh, where did that come from? Mm. Here's another good one. To be strong is to expose your weaknesses. We were talking about that last night. I did expose my weakness of snacking, and I'm not going to lie, I have a potato chip that I am going to devour. Um, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I will devour that. And yes, that was one of my weaknesses that I was talking about yesterday, is that I'm a snacker. I had about 5 or 6 exhibits. I wasn't proud of, but hey, whatever. We have to share, right, in order to overcome. Ooh, cookies. I actually laid away from cookies because I used to love chocolate chip cookies, but chocolate and me don't agree. Um, I learned that because I started going to this health food store in Bayonne, New Jersey, and he was talking about all the different things, normal things that we consume that really are not good for us. And when he said chocolate, I was like, what? He said even dark chocolate. And so I tested it. I said, okay, I'll stop eating chocolate. I stopped eating chocolate, and all of the symptoms that I had went away. And I was like, wow. I used to eat a bunch of crunch a week. Well, actually a day. You know, the box is a bunch of crunch. So it's pretty much like the crunch bar in the little balls. Ooh, I learned about bunch of crunch from going to the movies, at the concession stands. And so when they started doing individual packages that you could take home, I was like, well, I'll eat a box a day and that's it. I used to eat a box a day and could not understand why I was still experiencing certain things. And when he said that, I was like, really? I have to give up chocolate? I've given up everything else. So I gave up the chocolate and the symptoms went away. I was like, wow. And of course, I indulged around my birthday in I had purchased the is either the Breyers caramel cone, the waffle cone with the chocolate inside of it with the caramel swirl. Oh my goodness. Just thinking about it, just ooh, it rocks my world. Everything affects people differently because your body chemistry. Yes, you'll find some doctors that say that is bad, not bad too. You're right. You are absolutely right. Um, and I had that and then bam, I immediately got my symptoms and broke out all over the place. And I said, you know what? This is what I get. And I listened to my coworker too. She's like, yeah, it's your birthday. Go ahead. And I was like, okay. That's all I needed was just one person to co-sign with my foolery, and that was it. Chocolate increases serotonin, but if you have sugar problems, then no, I don't have sugar problems. But okay, fine, I'll tell you the secret. So they say that chocolate can cause breakouts. And so I said, okay, let me just find out if that's true. And for me, it turned out to be true. So that's why I stay away from chocolate. I'm not allergic to chocolate. I'm not, I don't have any sugar problems or anything like that, but it's just, that's what the effect for me is. And so I said, you know what? I'd rather not have breakouts. And so, I stay away from it. But because I've stayed away from chocolate for so long, once I have it immediately, I will just get my symptoms right away. Hey, Corey! Guys, that is Corey Teague. He is an activist like no other. He will fight for human rights like no other. Right now, he's located in Patterson, and he is fighting for the rights of a young man who was, he had his phone on live on Facebook, and he went into the precinct and was asking for just a cup of water because he felt like the cops who were coming after him were going to kill him. And so the officers did not know his phone was recording live. And so they all just basically stood around him and didn't help him. And then he was like, all right, fine. I'm going to, this is my last breath. I'm going to just die. You guys can kill me now. And unfortunately, Jameek Lowry, his name is Jameek Lowry. You can look up the story. He passed away in, quote unquote, I don't know the truth. So I have to put quote unquote and allegedly in the cops' custody because I don't want anybody trying to sue me off of information. Oh, wow. Yeah, so, a lot of injustices happen on a daily basis that we are not aware of. So I think we all should be thankful that we have the amount of security that we have and that we're not exposed to so many things that other people get exposed to. Violence is real, and we touch on it sometimes where violence happens in the home. And I also saw on Instagram last night on Instagram, which in it immediately made me say, put handcuffs on me if I see this person. So this woman, and I'm like, shame on the person that was actually recording it or however it was being recorded. But this woman and the child had to be about pre-K, I would say maybe 4 tops. And she literally like was leaning over the kid, and these are her hands, and she goes back, 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 back by the kid's head, just smacking up the kid's head, back and forth, back and forth. And she kept on saying, "Where you think you're gonna go now?" So from the looks of it, the chair that the child was sitting on was already on the ground, and the kid was screaming and hollering and crying. And then she was like, "Go ahead, wipe up." So then she started wiping her legs. And I'm like, man, did she just urinate on herself because of the trauma? And so the first thing that I thought of was like, I immediately got upset with the fact, like, wait, let's switch roles. Let me do that to that woman, right? And just like smack her up beside her head, or someone else smack her up beside her head, and just remind her, like, when your brain is hitting against your skull. Because remember, every move you make, your brain is pretty much going against your skull. So with that trauma, and she was using full force, human adult force on this little kid. So not only was she hitting the girl, but she could have been causing all kinds of concussions and brain damage to the child. And I was just thinking, like, oh my goodness, who is recording this? Or like, was this just a camera that was in the classroom? I don't know. But I just was like, man, this is how, some people develop mental illnesses. Yeah. I believe some people can develop mental illnesses because of that kind of abuse. I really do. Um, and I actually it broke my heart just to know, like, I believe that we should discipline our children however their personality fits. So you'll know some kids are more stubborn than others. You may want to like gently tap them on the hand, or something, a place where you can't really damage that much. Like, some people don't believe in spankings. um I just think whatever disciplinary actions you need to take with your child for their personality without being abusive is probably the best thing for them. Um, I hope I'm not stepping on toes. If I am, I'm sorry. But, uh, you know, s- some kids are just out of control. And I think they do need more than just a little firm talking or sitting in a corner. I mean, come on. I was raised in an era where we all got beatings. Now, can I say that I was a kid that needed beatings? No, I was not. I definitely didn't. All you had to do was tell me one time, and I pretty much caught it and caught on right then and there. Did I need beatings? No. But did they hurt me in the long run? No. Do I think that they were aggressive with beating me? I don't know. What kid is gonna think that is not aggressive? Nobody wants to get a beating. But nowadays they say that even hitting your kid is no good, is abuse. So I don't know. That's what the state says. And I know this because I took a course on it. So they recommend to put them in the corner, put them in timeout, and just teach them that way. I don't know, guys. You guys who are parents know what's best for your child. But hopefully you're not doing what this woman did to that kid, where she just traumatized her for life, and could have physically traumatized her for life. Um, I just, I all I remember was seeing that little brain hitting on the skull, and I mean, like, she was like going in, and it just I wanted to jump through the camera and just be like, "What are you doing? Like, stop." Would I want to put hands on that woman? I don't know. I don't know. None of us can really say that unless you are in the actual position. I want to say the good answer and be like, "No, I wouldn't want to put hands on her," but I don't know how I would want to do. Maybe I would just try to cover the kid and try to like push the lady away from the kid. I don't know. But all I do know is that whatever she was doing or whatever she did was not deserving of a smack in the head repeatedly, over and over and over again. She did not need that. No kid deserves that, not at all. It also reminds me of when I used to volunteer, and I've mentioned this before, at an infant shelter, and basically these infants were homeless. And then there were some cases where the kids came in because they were immediately, emergency, taken out of the home. And I will never forget, I saw a 1.5-year old with a body cast on from the waist down. So that means that his parents or whoever pretty much broke that kid's leg. And so he had to have a cast on from the waist down. And so the diaper went over the cast. I that was just like, oh my goodness, like what in the world? What in the world how in the world did you break his leg like that? And the kid, obviously, this was something that was going on often because the kid did not want anybody near him. So people think that infants can't absorb or understand things, but they do. I think they're very smart and intelligent. I think we just aren't as intelligent as them when it comes to figuring out what their needs are. Um, but I just, when you actually witness something like that, it's heartbreaking. And to know that someone that young can understand what pain is and not love and don't want love because the only love they know is pain, that's horrible. Like, I don't know. It's horrible. And a lot of the kids from that shelter that I used to volunteer at, they were born with drugs in their system, and they were all preemies. So I thought that I thought that regular sized babies were like, that big. And so that's not the case. These were all preemies because of the drugs that were in their system. And I thought, they're crying all the time. But have you guys ever witnessed a baby going through withdrawal? I did on almost every occasion. So every time, and when I was there enough, I was there for I was at that volunteer for about, I would say 4 years. And I was there long enough that the nurse aides trusted me to say, no, Joy, they're not crying. They're actually moaning through withdrawal. And they had to give the babies a little bit of something to help them come off of that drug. Imagine that. When you are born into this world, it's supposed to be a beautiful thing, right? But no, they're born into complications already. Going through withdrawal from age 0. And I mean, when the withdrawal, once I recognized and understood that was what it was, they literally would be like, like that the whole time. And I thought they were crying. They're like, no, they're just going through withdrawal. I was like, wow. And it was all kinds of babies, guys. It was African American, Caucasian, Spanish, all kinds of babies. And mind you, this shelter only had 6 beds. Yeah, about 6 beds. And it was beautiful. It was like they rented out an apartment house, or a condo. They rented out a duplex or a condo. And that first entire floor was nothing but cribs, and they only could fit 6. So 6 kids could fit in there, and they age out after 18 months. 6 kids, right? So imagine all of the other children that are born like that on a daily, hourly basis. We need to be more aware of what's going on in our societies, guys, really. And I wanted to, I simply had a love for babies, and I was trying to find a way to, play with kids, with babies. And the only place that allowed you to have contact with babies um, was the Hudson Cradle, and that was the name of the volunteers, Hudson Cradle. You went through the whole course of getting your past and getting drug tested, all of that stuff, to be able to volunteer. And it was one of the best experiences in my life, but it was the worst, knowing that the circumstances that these kids already had to deal with. But I also felt like, man, what if my interaction with them now can leave a lasting impression for them? That was back then, guys. I was thinking that. And I was like, you never know. You have no idea. So you never know. They may associate something that I was doing consistently with a baby, and they grow up and just whenever they may hear a song or something, because I would sing to them. Yeah, my little voice, I would sing to them. And maybe, a certain tone or tune will remind them of a time in their life. They may not know, but a time in their life where there was some peace. Some of these kids, what the state would do, some of these kids, if the parents show any form of rehabilitation from their addictions or whatever, they'll give them right back. And I did an interview on GS1 Radio. You can check the playlist if you ever want to watch it. The playlist in my YouTube. I did an interview with them, and the host that was interviewing me, she said that her child and this other child, The kid was in foster care. Not her kid, but the kid that her child was going to daycare with was in foster care. And the parents, after a year or so, the mother was able to have, the state gave back the mother. Because, the state believes that every child should go back to their natural habitat, no matter what, even if they're showing signs of getting better. So the state gave back the child to the mother. And then she said, there was like a week that went by and the kid did not come to school, to preschool. Come to find out, the mother went back on drugs and she literally decapitated her kid. Yes, she cut her child's head off and then had the nerve. And she said that her child and this other kid, like 5 years old, he didn't live past 5 years old. NASCAR, if you're still here, it kind of piggybacks off of what you're saying. Like, no matter where you are in life, whatever your conditions are in life, just appreciate it. This kid only lived to 5, and only a few years of that life did he actually enjoy that, because when he was in foster care, the family was taking care of him. He was thriving. And when they gave him back to the mother, he passed away at 5. I'm not saying that the mom was a bad person, but if the mom went back onto whatever drug that messed up the chemistry in her brain and thinking properly, that she could not get away from, but the state did not recognize that she was still continuously getting high. Just because someone goes through the motions of taking the courses and, showing up, doesn't mean that they have completely been recovered. And now this kid, his life ended at 5. Head cut off by your mom. And then even I saw the news the other day when I was getting my hair done, how same kind of situation. The young boy, his parents had the nerve to go on national TV and say that somebody kidnapped their son. And then the the police found a shallow grave with their son in it. And it turned out that the parents killed their son because they got high again. Like drugs, once it tears up that mental, they don't do anything. Are they responsible at that time? Absolutely not. They're not responsible, meaning like they can't handle reality versus whatever that drug is telling them to do. So they killed their kid because they wanted to get high. And then had the nerve to go deeper and tell the police that someone kidnapped their kid. No, go well, nobody kidnapped the kid. You guys literally killed your son and buried him. Same kind of thing. Like the kid was thriving somewhere else and they took him out the home, gave him back to the parents. He was starved to death. And I believe he was 8. He starved to death. And I was like, this kid didn't have a chance in the world. And yet we sometimes complain about being, oh, I'm 40, 20, 30, 50, 70, however old we are, and upset about something that really doesn't mean much. When you have an 8-year-old who could have been thriving to be our next leader in something, just starved to death, living in pure hell at 8 years old, cannot tell anybody, please help, get me out of this, because the state knows what's best for you. Gave him back to both of his parents, and they killed that little boy and starved him. They had him exactly for a year. They got him back for a year. And within that year, they said that he was not well kept. He wasn't fed. But yet we still see things that happen and don't take action. Why is that, guys? Why is it that we see things happen? You could see something, you could see something happen right across the street from you. You look like that's a shame, but not do anything about it. When will we stop being bystanders for injustice? Like, do I hold the people who knew the kid responsible for what happened to him? I mean, in a way, maybe, because if you knew this kid was happy one moment and then they started looking terrible another, then is that our responsibility to say, hey, what's going on? Maybe say something to the parents and maybe they'll straighten up, or maybe, call the cops, do something. But then I don't know. There is a case in Atlanta that just ended. Two meth heads, the parents killed their 2 week. Oh my goodness. Daddy had punched the baby in the face so hard it knocked out the baby's delicious teeth. Oh my goodness. I also heard about, I don't know if it's the same thing, where the guy was playing a video game and the baby wouldn't stop crying and he punched the baby in the face. Is that the same thing? Because I heard about that too. And the baby died. Maybe that's the same situation. A different one. Like, the troubles that we go through, like I'm having a little sinus problem right now and I'm in pain and I wish the pain would go away. But someone right now is being tortured beyond comprehension. Right now in America, they're either being starved to death, they're either being punched, being held against their will. It reminds me of the Cincinnati case where the three girls were in their home all those years and no neighbors even noticed that these kids were giving birth in a pool. You ain't hear nobody screaming? Like, you didn't notice anything crazy? Like, nothing ever said to yourself, like, something strange about my neighbor? Let me go and, investigate? I even heard of raped and killed. Oh, yes, 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 yes. I even heard a long time ago, too, where um, the baby was in a trailer park, right? And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody's situation, but I'm telling you the story verbatim. So they were living in a trailer park. Um, I believe it was the uncle, the mother, and the father, right? So what they did for fun, they threw the baby up, let the baby hit the top of the trailer, and let the baby slam right down for fun. Tortured that little baby. And then they raped the little girl. A baby. And did it again, consistently, just tearing up that kid. Like, what is wrong with people? It's like, how would you feel if somebody threw you up in the air, raped you, and then threw you all over the place again, didn't feed you, you scream and holler, and that's not enough, and they still beat you? Just torture. Man, forget throwing them off the high rise. Let them suffer a little. Like, see, this is the side of me that I don't necessarily want you guys to see, but I think, like, if letting them go off too easy with just guilt alone is not, well, guilt alone can kill somebody. But just, maybe starve them. Do everything that you did to them so that it can feel what it feels like, but then let them live. Let me stop right there. I'm trying to stay all positive for the rest of my life. But it's just sad how we can just hurt each other so bad, physically hurt each other so bad. And then, what seems like a slap in the wrist is just going to jail. Now, I've seen a lot of jail programs too, and it's not easy living in jail with other inmates and all that stuff. But to, to some degree, you still have a sense of freedom, at least, even if it's for an hour. But that baby that you raped up and may have survived, or that kid that you physically punched and abused and now they're living with those traumas, like, this is how vicious cycles continue, where like someone who's been abused becomes the abuser. Like, when will we stop? Because I think a lot of people are victims that turn into abusers. And then we look at them as the predator, which they did turn into the predator, but it's deep. Like, if we get to know the history behind, like, what made you do this? What happened in your past that made you do this? Why you can't think in a way and communicate in a way that something has bothered you. And so you just push your pain off to someone else who had nothing to do with that. Mm. I even heard watching another YouTube program, I even heard about um, racism where I don't remember what town they were talking about, what state they were talking about. But this man, just because he was black, this man tied him to his truck. I was thinking about that this morning too. Tied him to his truck and just drove on a rocky road. Just drove. I'm like, okay, take out the race. Imagine someone tying you to a short rope on their pickup truck or their car, whatever, and then just driving. Like, why do we do this? What possesses somebody to think that that's fun? And all I can think about is the horror that person's going through, the screaming, the skin being pulled off because of being dragged, and just their arms being strung up, and just like, come on. Yeah, yeah. But I think psychopaths, that is somewhere in that DNA. Somewhere in that DNA. I could be wrong, but that our bloodstream carries a whole lot of stuff from generation to generation, may skip a generation, or even even some things, like, you could be normal and then snap. Something just triggers you and you just snap. I don't think that I think that a lot of I think that there's only like 5% of the entire population that are really just naturally born horrible for whatever reason. For whatever reason. That's why I said, depending on how a child is disciplined to their particular personality could make all the difference. Some kids, all you need to do is look at them stern and they're good. Sometimes you need to yell. I don't know. Sometimes you need the capital punishment, which is like, spankings, what the state considers capital punishment. Um, Others don't need anything and they're just good. But depending on the personality, they may need a little bit more. And of course, that DNA, you mix two people that have a chemical imbalance together, and that blood mixes together to form a human being. I think there's gonna be a little something going on in there. That's just my theory. I could be wrong. That's just my theory. Mm. People stop disappointing you when you stop giving them your will and power. People stop disappointing you when you stop giving them your will and your power. Let that ponder. So often we give people our will. So often we leave it in the hands of people to make decisions for us that we're too afraid to do for ourselves. Fear will always cripple you. So whatever you're afraid of doing, stop. Because you're giving something your will and your power. We are very powerful humans. We are. We're born with so many powerful things in us. But somewhere along the line, either we're taught or we just don't see it, or we just lose that and just figure like, well, mother knows best, father knows best, boyfriend knows best, girlfriend knows best, family member knows best. Sibling knows best, giving our will and our power away until we become so fearful that we have to turn to motivational speakings to remind us that our will and our power is something that we possess and no one can take it. It has always been there, but you allowed other people to allocate that for you. Whatever you are afraid of today, meet that. Meet that where it is. Try to overcome it or manage it better. Some things we can't fully overcome, but if we know how to manage it and use tools to manage it, then it won't affect us as much. But today, moving forward, we will no longer give our will and power away to anyone. That means not allowing people out of fear to make determinations for us, to make life choices for us. We're going to make those choices ourselves. We're not going to fear anything anymore. You want another job? Start looking for that job. The door will open. If it's not supposed to happen, it won't. But the point is, don't be afraid of the possibilities of something that you've never known. Because guess what? We all do something for the first time in our lives all the time, right? It's called stages of life. Your first kiss, you were scared. Your first dance, you were scared. Your first class meeting, you were scared. But guess what? You went in, you did it, and it wasn't so bad. The first day on the job, you were nervous. First day in school, college classes, you were nervous. First date, you're nervous, you're scared, but you still do it. Why can't that fall in line with whatever it is that you're passionate about that you want to do? Stop giving away your will and power. That's like giving pieces of your life away. Some people will never, ever be able to get those pieces back if you go too far. Oh, when was the last time you pursued your passion? Leave room to do so. So simply, that's right. Simply put, if you've been passionate about something and it just keeps on nudging you, keeps on pushing you ahead, telling you, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. Oh, I have this thing I want to do. Keep working at whatever you're doing, but leave room to start doing your passion. Meaning just start volunteering in whatever it is. And then, get a feel of it. Sometimes you might just have to jump in and go ahead. Other times you just have to, test the waters. Dip your little big toe in first. Make sure the water is warm enough. Right? But the point is, if you're passionate about something, just start pursuing it a little bit. Because once that door opens and you're operating in your passion and you're moving in your passion, guys, life becomes so beautiful, even more beautiful than what you recognized it to be. And if you don't think life is beautiful, that's okay. But you need to start focusing on yourself and getting to know who you are so that you'll understand life is beautiful. Let's see what else we can find. The best is always yet to come. Always have a heart of gratitude. I think episode 55 is an episode about gratitude. If you guys ever wanted to check that out. A little fitness don't hurt nobody. A half hour a day keeps the tiredness away. When's the last time you did some exercising, guys? Even that little half an hour. You don't even have to commit to being in the gym for hours on end. You don't even have to commit to going to the gym, but just do something a half an hour. You could do stuff at home. Oh, here's a good one. The biggest con, believing that most people like what they see in the mirror. That goes to say, every smile isn't always a real smile. People are going home and hating what they look like. People are going home and hating who they are because they can't accept who they are. And they think that others won't accept who they are. So they put the mask on. How many of us have been walking around with masks on? It's time to take the mask off. Let me tell you why. Because once you are honest with yourself, you become free. Once you're free, you become confident. Once you're confident, you become an amazing person or human being that just wants to push things out so that other people can understand their beauty, their confidence, their love, their freedom that they so desperately need. Mm? Remember to like, subscribe, and share these videos. You never know who may need to hear what we talk about or see what we chat about. I thank you guys for joining me. It's a pleasure. I love being here with you guys every single night. So yes, thank you for joining me on Hello World. I'm here every night between 7 and 9. Tomorrow I'm going to be on the Jenny and Joy show at 2 p.m. So catch me there. Yeah, I'm glad you joined too. Oh, here's another good one. Oh, I'm not going anywhere yet. I was just taking a break, unless you are. The biggest con, believing that being kind will get you taken advantage of. You see that? The biggest con, believing that being kind will get you taken advantage of. You know how many people think that, man, if I do this, then they're going to try to use me for something else and use me up, and they'll purposely not be kind just because of that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? You too. Isn't that crazy? That you would hold yourself back from doing something kind because you don't want to be taken advantage of. Well, guess what? You're getting taken advantage of at that very moment when you decide not to do what your heart was telling you to do. Okay, no problem. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys, make sure the people in the chat, make sure you guys are checking each other out and showing each other love on each of your channels. Make sure you do that because we are all here to, pretty much uplift each other and make things better for our lives so we can continue to be the difference for this beautiful world that we live in that is changing for the better every single day, every single hour, every single moment. Our world is getting better. Yes, it is. I believe that. I know it for a fact. TV may tell us differently, but trust and believe all the stuff that's going on in the background that they're not showing is making all the world of a difference. Yes, it is. Here's another one. Demand better from yourself. Push yourself hard to the limits, to the core. Keep on pushing. Keep on, even if you have to think of that flicker, that one little flicker that's keeping you moving. Just keep on chugging along. Keep on pushing. Love is backed by popular demand. Are you down? I'm down. I am absolutely down. Love is backed by popular demand. Are you down? That's a challenge for all of us. Are we ready to completely allow love to take its course in our lives so that we can be better, so that we can infect other people with love, pure love, like the love that's going to just make everything better, that glow in us, that shine, that pizzazz that we all have? Maybe our infant mortality will go down, the deaths. Immortality, I'm sorry, the infant deaths will go down. Maybe we'll stop jumping in and out of relationships as fast and or as slow. Maybe we'll start giving each other a chance to just be and try to understand each other if we allow love to really reign. These are all challenging things. Like this quotes book is just things to make you think and also to push you to your next limit. I have another book that I'm going to be releasing very soon. I'm just waiting for the cover to come out. Once the cover comes out, I'm done. I'm just releasing it. I've only done 3 books, and I think I'm done right there. I'm done with that. Be thankful for your beautiful eyes. Not everyone can see you. Can see. Be thankful for your beautiful eyes. Not everyone can see. All of these quotes you can find in the description where you shop my merch. You can find the book there, and you can definitely shop that. What else do you guys want to talk about? Um, some days, hello world, can be so deep, and then other days we can have a good time and joke around. I think I have a lot of days where we talk about something serious, but we do have a few days where we just laugh at me, and I laugh at myself, and all these other things. You know what I mean? But it's about balancing. It's about balancing, everything. And I don't know. I just think that if we continue to be the best we can be, our world will continue to change for the better. I know I keep saying that because sometimes you need to hear it over and over and again in order to receive it and really like believe it. Our world is getting better, guys. It really is. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. I thank you guys for joining me every single night. Corey, thank you so much for tuning back in. I'm so glad that you were here. Um, I'm just thankful just for this outlet. I've met so many cool people on YouTube, like NASCAR Man 3345, Hip Flipping Mama, Just Sandy, so many other people. Shamrock, I met her, and she's gonna be telling her story on her channel. So you guys want to definitely go and show some love. Gina, I met so many wonderful people. And I'm just so thankful that you guys just spend a little bit of time with me. And I'm thankful that you care that much that you want to support me and show me love. Like for real love. Like not just this, oh, I just want to go hop and see what she's doing. But like really genuinely, you guys are really cool. And I'm thankful that I met you guys. And I'm just I'm just trying my best to be the best version of joy that I can be. Because not always the versions that I used to be were good. And I'm just trying to outlive the rest of my life being the best joy that she can be. That's all I can do. And I want you guys to be the best whoever's you can be as well. I know you have it in you. Sometimes you just gotta have a little extra nudge to pull it out, or just that encouragement to just say, you know what, it's okay. We all fall, but we can get back up. Yes. We all do have hardships, but we can get back up. It's in getting up and staying up. That's something that we all can just strive to do every day. Strive. Again, I am so appreciative of you guys. I'm on here every single night between 7 and 9. I will try my best to be here no matter what because I made a commitment to you guys. You keep on making a commitment to me. And here we go. On episode 11, I will be doing a giveaway. So if you are not subscribed, then you will not be a part of that giveaway. I will have Jenny from the Jenny and Joy show pick a name. So you have to tune into that show in order to find out if you are the winner. And then I'll announce the winner again that evening. But it's been a pleasure to be here. I'm so glad to see some new faces and some familiars. Thank you for joining me. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You are necessary. You are loved. You are the thing that makes life worth living. Keep on being who you are, being the better version of yourself, being the best version of that self of you. And just keep on being human, knowing that you are full of mistakes, but your mistakes don't define you, knowing that you can overcome or manage your mistakes because you really want to be the difference, because you are the difference. My name is Joy, and this has been another presentation of Hello World, brought to you by Be the Difference Clothing. Thank you again for sharing with me. Thank you for caring. Shop my merch to find out more about the company and me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night and a great evening. Well, no, great night, great evening, great sleep. Here we go. See you then.